To establish this part of this band as a place for AM activity in this area. Everyone is invited to listen. Licensed amateurs who can do so legally are encouraged to check in. We listen in the AM mode and transmit in the AM mode where possible. If you cannot transmit in AM, we encourage you to listen in AM and transmit in FM. If you are transmitting in FM, please adjust your transmit frequency a couple kCs above or below from our receive frequency. This facilitates the use of slope detection, that is, demodulating your FM signal with our AM receivers. When checking in, please announce your call sign in standard phonetics. Again, this is KC9UDX. My name is Matt, and I will begin accepting check-ins now. Any stations wishing to check in, please come now, please. And I believe you missed most of that, but I think you guys get the point. So if anybody wants to check in, here's your opportunity. Calling all stations. Check in now, please.
Good evening, Matt, W9JCC. Yes, we missed most of that, but we knew what was going on. KC9UDX and 9CXK.
All right, thank you, Frank. We've got two so far, maybe a third, we'll see. Recognizing Frank, W9JCC, welcome to the net. Carol N9CXK, also welcome to the net. And you may have had a perfect double, or there's something else going on there, but let's see who else we got. Anybody I haven't called so far, come now, please.
This is November 9, Foxtrot Sierra Echo. And Whiskey Bravo 9, Bravo Whiskey Papa.
All right, got two more. A very early surprise. Steve N9FSC, welcome to the net. And also Dave WB9BWP, also welcome to the net. Do we have anybody else? All right, hearing none, I will try to watch my meter here so that I do not talk for nothing. Well, it's been another month. Another month went by here, and I got to tell you, I'm just pretty burnt out. Looking forward to a vacation next week, going camping. And I guess the only other things I can think of to mention, we've got a 5-second delay on YouTube tonight. I've made some improvements to my network here, and unfortunately also in rearranging things to make improvements, I have slowed things down a little bit. It shouldn't matter, but now the YouTube equipment here is all on a slower branch of my network. And I guess I'll talk about it in more detail if you guys care. But I took the time to build my own internet router. It's a gateway and firewall. I was having intermittent connectivity issues between the cable modem and my router. And I got tired of having the pre-built router, so I built my own. I used a Rock Pro 64, kind of like a Raspberry Pi, only a little bit more powerful. But otherwise, I can't think of too much else that's going on. And we'll go to the top of the list. Frank, it's your turn. W9JCC from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX on the net, W9JCC. Very good net. He's been on 20-meter sidebands up in the patio running mostly old equipment. That uses the Heathkit Twins, the 301, 401. And today I planted a garden a few weeks ago, and I was losing some of the sprouts that were coming up. And today I happened to walk out there in the morning, which I don't do very often, and there was a chicken out there picking at everything that was green. But I had covered all of the plants that had sprouted here a couple of days ago with chicken wire waste baskets upside down. And he had no fear of me at all. In fact, he was squawking at me quite a bit. And he walked up and down each aisle of the garden looking for something to eat. And the only thing he was able to pick up was a few wide blades of grass. But I think he wanted what was inside the baskets. But fortunately, he wasn't smart enough to knock him over and go in for it. So that was very exciting for the morning. Okay, anyway, back to you then, Matt. KC9UDX, W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. Fine business. And that is quite a bit of an excitement. I don't know what I'd think if I looked outside and saw a chicken walking around, but I suppose that's going to get more prevalent. You know, with all these people having chickens laying eggs, and most people, I guess, are not terribly responsible and not as serious as they want to be. I see a lot of that going on. There's just way too many people trying to do things that they think are easier than they really are. But I suppose a lot of people being successful too. And fine business on the Heathkit Twins. And on 40 meters AM. I don't know if I've ever listened on 40 meters AM. I don't recall. I remember listening for many years to the guys on 80 meters AM before I got licensed. And then, of course, shortly after I got licensed, before I had the capability of doing 80 meters AM. And I got to tell you, listening to those guys so much made me not want to talk to them. Not in a bad way, but I just don't think they'd appreciate me being there. And I don't know how it is on 40 meters. I guess I just don't recall ever listening to that, which is unusual. I don't know why I wouldn't have. And next we'll go to Carol, N9CXK. It's your turn from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX and the net. N9CXK. Okay, well, yeah, I don't have a lot that I'm bringing with me today. My garden is growing peppers and tomatoes. That's about all. Then lots and lots and lots of flowers. I have bushes I still have to put in and other things. So it's going to be a long beginning to the summer. But I'm catching up. Finally, after about a month or so, I cut the grass. Had to mower up as high as it would go, and it came out pretty good because I have a lot of brand new grass with straw on it and fresh dirt and everything. So I'm trying not to blow all the straw all over the place. So I put the mower up high, and it cut the lawn. It looks pretty good. It's quite tall, but yeah, it looks respectable again. And the straw mostly stayed where it was. I wet it all down first, and it pretty much stayed where it was supposed to. Radio stuff. I haven't really done any radio stuff at all. Let's see. I know what it is. Okay, back to you, Matt. N9CXK. Over.
All right, thank you, Carol. Your signal is up, and I think your audio is down. unless it's just me. You're normally like 7 out of 10 signal, now you're 8 out of 10, which I think is the highest you've ever been here. But I had to turn the audio gain up pretty high to hear you, which is unusual, I think. And fine business on the tall grass, I think that's a good thing. I think people a lot of times cut it too short. Tall grass is healthy grass, and tall grass also squeezes out the weeds. And fine business on the amplifier. Definitely keep your output within range, but if it's a linear amplifier, of course it should work. I have a problem with the amplifier I have for this radio. I think it's 10 watts in and the radio is maximum 7 watts out. I have to detune the output of the radio to safely use the amplifier. It does work that way, but it's kind of strange, and it's kind of dangerous too. If you're not paying attention, you could do the wrong thing there, or I could, I suppose. And with that, next we'll go to Steve at 9FSE from KC9UDX.
Thank you, Matt. Good to hear the whole crew in here as usual. And good that we beat the drums on multiple repeaters, DMR 513, 38, I think I did 38, and West Side, so shook it up a little bit here. We'll see if we get any results, probably limited, but who knows until you try. So happy to do that. Matt, you got you at 20 over, a little crunchy to start on the preamble, but got things rectified there. Frank, we got to talk to you this morning on the West Side there. Boy, we even had TOF was over there with him, and he's got to work on his radio to get back out here, so he hasn't forgotten about us, but is just not able apparently. And very good on the 40 meter. As I said, the noontime forum, I tune in with a Kiwi once in a while and listen into that. I do like Jerry over there and the assembled masses for that stuff. And it's funny how the chicken enjoying the buffet there. And I don't know if you were leading that way, but yeah, maybe you need some chicken wire to keep the chicken out of the sprouts there. My goodness. And good to see Carol at the Lions Hamfest. And it would have been probably quieter if I hadn't been beating the drum on our Wednesday night, and that's on 513 where I announced SwapFest and propagation after the SwapNet portion. So good that they keep it going, but we gotta improve the turnout. Some people are commenting about advertising while I did my part. Other people are commenting I don't know who the liaison is with Lakeshore. I guess I'll just put it that way. They were surprised they were still sponsoring it. They seem to be some of them, including people higher up in Lakeshore, didn't seem to be too their own up. And along with decent maps, don't be ashamed of where the location is, and that's talk in, and contacts are always key for that stuff as well. That's what I know. Hope to hear what Dave has for us here. Let's see, I had Matt at 20 over, Frank, I got to look at the scale again. I got Carol at 10 over, and yeah, the audio is a little light, especially when I got to contend with a little bit of on-site interference. And we'll see what Dave has, because I missed that as well, and we'll have to see who else can swing in there, I guess. That back to that for the 2 a.m. This station at 9FSE.
All right, thank you, Steve. Fine business. And good to hear we're not at that time of year yet where the fan is overpowering you. And I'll tell you that you are 7.5 out of 10. which is a little less, I think, than normal at 8. I guess I don't keep real good track of that. And now I distracted myself. I was going to comment on something and I cannot recall what it is. But next we'll go to Dave, WB9BWP, from KC9UDX.
Well, good evening, everyone. Yes, I will also say Carol's signal is good. His audio is way down. Everybody else is about the same as they have been. Steve always is the strongest here. He's almost like probably looking down on my house there. Anyway, I actually know some people that literally live just down the block from that tower, too. Let's see, what else? I haven't done any AM on HF probably since the very early 70s. After I upgraded from my novice license and I had a Heathkit DX60, which was an AM and CW transmitter. That's probably the last time I actually did any HF AM. And oh yes, the PR subject. I've being not in any kind of position anymore, I've dropped a number of hints to the powers that currently be at MRAC about some of the things, and I think all my comments just kind of cruise right by them and they just go, yeah, okay. And that's that. I was reading the newsletter from the Radio Club of Tacoma. Tacoma is 1 year older than MRAC, but they didn't become ARL affiliated until 1 year later. But their newsletter is 98 pages. And I think it comes out every month. It's interesting to see what clubs do that aren't around here, because they seem to be way different than what we got here. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, that newsletter is not available online. I was reading another one from a club out of Canada a few weeks ago, which was also huge, almost magazine-like. Some of these guys could give the actual magazines a run for their money. Stand by just a moment here. I don't go into the menu and turn off the timer.
I think one of the comments I've heard several times is just the fact that we get together and have meetings and do things. And I guess some of the other clubs don't do that as much. I don't know. That's interesting about that Tacoma club. You say they're 1 year older. I wonder if they were continuously meeting during the war, because I think that's one of the things that separates MRAC from some of the other ones. So they may be older, but maybe they're not. Don't have as many years in existence, I guess. You know, it's probably kind of unusual to hear, you know, from somebody who does AM on VHF. I don't really have AM capability on HF. I have dual sideband reduced carrier capability on 80, 40, 20, 15, and 10. Of course, I've also got true AM on 10. I've got a couple of those Radio Shack HTX10s, and actually I wish I had more of them. N9UX was selling one a while back, and I should have bought it from him. I wonder if he still has it. Of course, it's worth a lot more money now. I really regret not buying that from him. And I used to live, You know that tower in New Berlin? I used to live a block away from there, but that was a long time ago now. Now I live a couple blocks away. Well, a couple miles away. Anyway, we're at the bottom of the list. Let's see if we have any more check-ins for the 2 a.m. net. Come now, please.
This is Kilo Sierra, Niner, Quebec.
All right, got one more. Recognizing Jim, KS9Q. Welcome to the net. Is there anybody else? Come now, please. All right, hearing none. Before I forget, Dave, I want to say you're a 6 out of 10, which is perfectly normal for you. And Jim, I have not noted your signal strength yet. I have to manually switch over my meter from receive to transmit. So I'll do that when you're transmitting. But go ahead and take it away, KS9Q from KC9UDX.
Okay, KC9UDX in the net. This is KS9Q. Well, I've got a little bit of a compromise shack situation at the moment. I had to, because of the siding project, I had to disconnect all the antennas. And the VHF-UHF antenna, I've got it through the entryway to the house, but I don't have it run all the way to the shack yet. So I took the 991, stuck it on a battery, and connected it directly to the antenna, and here we are. So it's the best I can do for the evening, but hopefully it gets out, and hopefully we can be heard. And yeah, I ran across an ad for a night kit 2 a.m. transceiver that was in fair condition, which means it's probably going to need a fair amount of reconditioning. That was tempting, but with the 991 though, I'm at least able to get into the net. So
I guess speaking of which, I've been helping somebody try to learn NetBSD. I set up a server for him, and he's running it, and I kind of administer it a little bit. But this is one of the things about NetBSD is you just don't ever reboot. Rebooting in some cases can cause more problems than just letting it run and fixing whatever's wrong, which is unusual because most other operating systems these days, you know, their best recourse is to reboot. And it's interesting you found a night transceiver. I don't recall ever seeing any night amateur gear, but I have seen quite a bit of their hi-fi stuff, which I always thought was superior to the Heathkit stuff. It was very, very good. And I guess I wonder how that transceiver would be. I don't recall ever seeing one like that anywhere. And you talk about redoing your siding, that makes me think about a project that I have been thinking about for the last at least 10 years, which I kind of started and never finished, and that is having a bulkhead on the outside of the house and a bulkhead on the inside, and just cables going in between there, and not worrying about the losses from all the extra connectors. Someday I'll do that, and it'll be really nice. And we'll go back to the top of the list. It's your turn again, Frank, W9JCC from KC9UDX.
Okay, thanks, Matt, KC9UDX, W9JCC, and good evening to Jim. Jim's popping in here at a pretty good 40/9, same signal strength as you there, Matt. These two guys are at the top of the heap. Jim, your audio is nice. It's a little mellow, not as crisp as Matt's, but sounds good. And Cheryl, N9CXK, yeah, your signal is S9 here, but like the other guys, I had to turn up the audio a little bit just to pull you out. So I don't know what the situation is there. And maybe the gain is too low, or maybe something else isn't quite right. But we can hear you okay. I bought some new tubes for my Hunter amplifier. I hated the spring for them, but I figured this is probably going to be the last set I'll need. It was kind of interesting. The original Citrons, which bit the dust a long time ago, they were rated at, the plate voltage was rated at 2750, I believe, volts. And these Pentalabs that I got, they changed the spec. They're rated at 2 kV. So I was used to run them in the amplifier with the highest voltage rating. I had three selections: medium, low, medium, and high. And the high voltage was at 2750. But when I saw the spec change, I said, well, I'll just put them down to 2 kV, which was the medium position. And when I tuned that thing up, I had the bird watt meter on there, and they went right up to 1 kW and a little bit over. So I figured, well, that's good enough. I'm not going to push it. That's probably all I'll need. And so I hope they held up good. I noticed that when I had the Citrons, enough of that, grass cutting, I think I left my lawn tractor at 3.5 inches. Must have timed out here with the Kenwood. I never even tried to figure out what the timer setting was on this thing. It's probably 3 minutes, but I never figured out how to turn it off, but that's okay. And yeah, on 40 meter AM, I use the Johnson Ranger, runs about 50 watts a carrier, and the 75A4 receiver. I also use the Kiwi receivers, SDR receivers. I used to have one over in Cable, Ohio, and I've lost that one for some reason, and now I've got one also in Ohio. I forgot what town it's in, but it seems to be almost as good, so we use that when conditions are a little lousy, or skip as long or short, and you can't hear both ends. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. We'll turn it back to net control. This is W9JCC.
All right, thank you, Frank. And I forgot to mention before, Jim, your signal is 10 out of 10. I think you're just slightly below the 10 where Frank pegs the needle. But it's 10 for all intents and purposes. And Frank, I don't know about you, but me, I've got an amplifier here that runs around 2,500, 2,700 volts. I think it is 2,700. And that is genuinely scary. To me, you get above 1,000 volts on a high power amplifier, that's even scarier than 30,000 volts on a TV. That is genuinely scary. And I say you're better off not trying to turn off that timeout timer, because you always do catch it. And the day you turn it off, you won't be able to figure out how to turn it back on. At least that's how it is for me. So, and with that, we'll go next to Carol. It's your turn again. N9CXK from KC9UDX.
KC9UDX and net N9CXK. Alright, well, I guess I don't have too much to talk about here. Let's see, plenty going on outside, not much in the Radio Shack. Alright, so I'm using my normal 991A, the regular microphone, and the only difference is I have this amplifier in here. So maybe I wasn't talking close enough to the mic. Let's try this. Okay, there we go. N9CXK without the amplifier. Should be about 20 watts, and I don't know, audio gain is up pretty high already. We played around a few times on here, and you guys told me where it was best set, so on AM it stays here in 9CXK.
All right, thank you, Carol. It is still quiet. Not objectionable, but it is, your audio is very low compared to normal. I do have to turn up my gain quite a bit, but not worried about it. And I was going to say something else. Now I forgot. And I don't know why I thought about it while you were talking, but I guess I should have brought up the microburst or whatever happened here yesterday. We had a sudden gust of wind, took down a maple tree, just missed the house. Incidentally, the tree was always leaning towards the house and it fell parallel to the house, which is strange. But I'm not going to